Hi, everyone. Bill Rensselaer in the 1011 Now streaming studio. I hope everyone's having a nice Monday morning. Right now, we are waiting for an update from the Lincoln Police Department on an officer-involved shooting that happened early this morning. This happened on 48th Street near Orchard Streets. Large police presence. It was right before 3 a.m. This morning that scene was active. LPD has confirmed that they responded to an officer-involved shooting. Again, that was at North 48th and Orchard Street, and they had shut down 48th Street between W and Holdridge. Crime scene tape up from one side of 48th and Orchard Street to the other. Reporter on the scene saw a white car surrounded by cruisers and crime scene markers scattered on the ground around the white car and the cruisers. Details still limited, but LPD says no one was injured by the gunshot. But we are going to be getting an update from Lincoln Police Chief Mishan Morrow here momentarily. Again, you see the live image there as we're waiting for that press briefing to get started down at the headquarters downtown. Looks like she might be starting now, so we'll go ahead and listen in.
It's not my skill set. All right, we have everything ready to go. So Chief will address us about the officer-involved shooting at 48th and Orchard. Then I have some other stuff that we can brief on as well afterward, and I can get you spellings and other stuff regarding the people involved. So no need to ask about that right now. We can get that for you afterward. Chief?
Okay. Good morning. Thank you for being here with us this morning. Again, my name is Mishan Morrow. I'm the chief here at the Lincoln Police Department. We're here this morning to discuss an officer-involved shooting that occurred overnight in Northeast Lincoln. I want to begin by saying how incredibly grateful we are that there were no significant injuries and our responding officers were able to take swift action to safely resolve this situation in a very short amount of time. This morning, just before 2:30 a.m., officers conducted a traffic stop with a white Cadillac outside an apartment complex near 46th and Orchard. Officers had probable cause to remove both of the occupants of the vehicle, a male driver and a female passenger. They wanted to remove them from the vehicle to do a canine search. As officers ordered them to step out, one was standing inside the passenger door of the vehicle. The occupants did not comply and they began driving away. The officer on the passenger side got caught in the vehicle. The vehicle slowly continued eastbound down Orchard with two officers chasing behind it on foot. One officer, our canine officer, turned back to get his cruiser while the other officer pulled his service weapon and commanded the driver to stop multiple times. When the driver did not comply, the officer fired his service weapon in the direction of the vehicle. No one was injured by the gunshot. The vehicle stopped in the intersection of North 48th and Orchard, where the officer who had been inside the vehicle was able to safely remove himself from the vehicle and again stepping away with minor injuries, which we are grateful for. The occupants were taken into custody without incident and were interviewed by our investigators here at LPD headquarters. They have been identified as 66-year-old Ronald Willis and 44-year-old Cynthia Chamberlain of Lincoln. Both were taken to the Lancaster County Jail. Willis will be charged with flee to avoid and assault on a police officer. Chamberlain, will be charged with possession of a controlled substance. Additional charges are pending further investigation. The officer who fired his service weapon joined the department in 2018, and per our policy, he has been placed on administrative leave. The intersection still remains closed while we continue to conduct the investigation at the scene. We appreciate your patience. We recognize that this is the time for people commuting to work and taking children to school. Again, alternate routes are suggested to avoid this location, and open to taking any questions you may have.
Was the vehicle hit by the gunfire?
I don't have that information right now. That's part of the ongoing investigation at the scene.
How many shots? What's the one?
One shot.
What was the traffic stop for?
I don't have that exact information. Again, that's part of the interviews that are occurring.
Do we know what led to the K-9 unit being called for the search of the vehicle?
The information that I have right now is they had developed probable cause to run the canine search around the vehicle. What I can share with you is generally that is because of a belief of narcotics inside the vehicle.
How did the officer get stuck? I'm having a hard time visualizing how he got stuck, caught in the vehicle.
It's a great question, and certainly understandable why that's confusing. The door had been opened on the passenger side, and he had stepped into the door to assist the female. She was not necessarily cooperative and was going to assist her in exiting the vehicle. It was at that point, while he was standing in a doorway, that the driver drove away, catching him in the vehicle.
Was he snagged, was clothing snagged by the door, or, was he just wedged in the door?
It would be hard for me to describe that other than to tell you that he was fully caught by the vehicle.
And in a situation like this, would deadly force have been justified?
This most certainly was a lethal force encounter with our officer potentially. It was unclear from the visual of where he was drug, if he was drug, how he was caught in the vehicle. But he is now in a vehicle that is fleeing from a traffic stop. And most certainly our concerns were with that officer, and it is considered a lethal force encounter.
And if you had a chance to talk to the officer, why did he file a warning shot rather than make the open push?
I think by your description of it being a warning shot, it is an assumption. This investigation is still ongoing, and I certainly can't stand here and put intent on his actions. That will come from him, and that will be a part of our interview and further investigation.
Did the officer suffer any kind of injuries at all?
He does have minor injury. He has pain to his leg and hip area and into one of his hands. Again, the passenger and the driver of the vehicle, neither were injured and were safely taken into custody without further incident.
And did the officer need to go to the hospital for his pain that he had?
Thankfully, he did not.
So I get this straight, was it the officer that was caught in the vehicle that shot, or was it a different officer?
He was the officer who ran down eastbound down Orchard Street towards the vehicle, and then caught up with that vehicle as it was in the intersection of 48th and Orchard.
So this incident was just contained between 46th and 48th then, when the car was driving away?
Correct. Again, swift actions by our officers to bring this to a safe end. Any other questions?
Were any weapons or anything else found inside the
We have not searched that vehicle yet. Again, that's part of the ongoing investigation, and that will be part of furthering the evidence collection and what we can share down the road.
in your information? Did you believe that there might be weapons inside the vehicle?
I don't have that information. Again, I want to maintain the integrity of our investigation and not infuse opinions or assumptions, and go with the facts as they are developed through the investigation.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Hello, everyone. Bill Rensselaer back in the 1011 Now streaming studio. Again, you were watching Chief Mishan Morrow there giving an update on that officer-involved shooting that we had early this morning. 1 second. And some details, again, from from that incident happened just before 2:30 in the morning. Again, starting out as a traffic stop near 46th and Orchard. Michon Morrow, Chief Michon Morrow, saying that there were two officers attempting to remove a male driver and a female passenger from that vehicle to do a canine search, saying that they had probable cause to do that search. They did not comply with those orders and began driving away. Officers chased on foot. One officer then turned back to get his cruiser. Another officer then pulled his service weapon, commanded the driver to stop. Driver did not comply. Then again, Chief Morrow saying that the officer fired his weapon or their weapon in the direction of the vehicle. The vehicle then stopped in the intersection of 48th and Orchard, and then from that point, the occupants were taken into custody without further incident. 66-year-old Ronald Willis, I believe, and a 44-year-old Cynthia Chamberlain, I believe. Both of those individuals have been taken into custody into Lancaster County Jail. The officer who did fire their weapon, per department policy, has been placed on administrative leave, and the intersection there, 48th and Orchard, again, does remain closed while that investigation continues to be ongoing. So that's kind of the latest that we have. Again, we're going to continue to flesh out some more details with this incident, and again, obviously keep you updated as long as that intersection is closed, and as soon as it reopens, again, we'll let folks know. But again, no significant injuries involved. That is the good news out of this. Again, one officer was sort of caught by the vehicle, is how they described it, as he was trying to remove the passenger, and he they got kind of drug along a little bit. I don't know if drug is the right word, but kind of caught up by the vehicle is what they said. And so it sounds like he does some. They do have some minor injuries, and again, and then the one other officer did fire their service weapon in the direction of the vehicle. But again, no injuries reported from that shot. So we'll continue to keep you updated. Let you know again additional details as we get them. So appreciate everyone for tuning in for this update. Hope everyone has a nice Monday. Keep tuned to 1011 both on air and online for all of the latest.